But I think part of the beginning was a point I wanted to make too of like how difficult it was initially to be like, oh shit, what is sexual health? Like what the fuck does that even mean? So it's super, super broad. I think for me, I like to think of it as like our ability to like embrace and enjoy our sexuality. And when I talk about it with people that I work with, I like to talk about it as the circles of sexuality when I'm talking about sexuality with clients. So the idea there's these 5 components or circles of sexuality. In the middle of those is our values. So first being sensuality, that's kind of what you guys were talking about in terms of our enjoyment during sex, our level of awareness of our body and our partner's bodies. So that can include things like body image. How do we feel about our own bodies? Sexual self-esteem. How comfortable and confident are we in terms of our sexual abilities? That's the sexual response cycle that Luke was talking about. Maybe our sexual fantasies fall under that category. The next component is intimacy. So that's kind of what Reed and Joe were talking about with relationships, kind of our need for closeness and intimacy with potential partners. And under that would fall trust, care, emotional vulnerability, self-disclosure, all those things with like open communication and how do we make our sexual relationship better. What we didn't talk about in your all's definitions would be sexual identity. That's that third piece. So how do we perceive ourselves as sexual beings? That can be our gender identity, our sexual orientation, our gender expression, different gender roles. All of those things have a huge impact on sexual health. And then we have sexual health and reproduction. So our attitudes toward and our behaviors toward sexual health and the consequences of sexual activity. So maybe our beliefs and values around contraception, whether or not we're trying to have a baby, our anatomy, history of STIs, all those pieces, sexual dysfunction would fall under there. And then the last piece is sexualization. So that's how we use our sexuality. This is where people can end up seeing me because this can be how we're meeting this need in really, really unhealthy ways. So that could include manipulation, force, rapes, but it can also be really healthy things like giving consent or trying to obtain consent, healthy communication in relationships, setting boundaries, flirting, courtship, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how I like to talk about it with people. And then just reminding people that sexual health is influenced by almost every aspect of our identity, our culture, our religion, our family upbringing, our values, societal expectations and norms. So all of that impacts sexual health.